Hello folks, this is Alex. I'm the Devil's Advocate. Thank you for clicking on this video. I talk about movies, music, TV, video games, whatever I feel like talking about on this channel. And the weather in New York is crazy. It's 70 degrees one day and then back to 40 degrees and back and forth. Spring is here, truly a New York spring. But we are here today to talk about a very special day, the finale, the series finale of The Boys.
Oh, praise be. And what is it?
All right, let's get to work, yeah?
We got episodes 1 and 2. I'm going to talk about them like you've seen them as well. I'm kind of glad this is the last season of The Boys. That's my spoiler-free take. I'm kind of glad this is the last season of The Boys. I wanted it to keep going. Like, I really liked it in the beginning, but then it kind of lost its way. I think season 3 with Hero-gasm and Soldier Boy and the confrontation of Butcher and Homelander, that's about as good as it's gonna get. The next season should have been the end, but the next season was table setting for the end. And having that many years apart as well, the way TV is made today, the way media is made today. I mean, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg created this show, and they also have a show on Apple TV called The Franchise. And I've not watched this show, but I can tell that the way he's making this show feels less and less like, oh, I have characters that I want to take care of, I have motivations that I want to see followed through on, I have plots that I want to see played out, and more like this is his way of tweeting how he feels about the state of the world and the state of media. The Franchise feels like his way of talking about how he feels about making this show in general, or just how the landscape is of Hollywood, where it used to be you make a show or you make a movie and you were happy if it made money back and people enjoyed it enough for you to then make a sequel, and then maybe that spawned a comic book or a video game series. Now you go into the pitch meeting saying, here's the project we're going to bring you. We're planning on 5 seasons. We're planning on movie spin-offs. We're planning on video games. We're planning on a multimedia, multi-year, trying to engineer a forever franchise. Like the Dark Universe. I'll always point to the Dark Universe. Universal Studios thought they could say, hey, we're going to start out with the Mummy. We're going to have Jekyll and Hyde in there as like the Nick Fury of the Monsterverse. We're going to do the Invisible Man and Frankenstein and Creature from the Black Lagoon and Wolfman, and they're all going to team up in an Avengers-style crossover. They had promo pictures of the actors who were going to play them. I'm going to find them and put them on screen. And The Mummy came out with Tom Cruise and bombed. Nobody liked it. Nobody went to see it. Lost money. And so they had to back out. Same thing happened with DC initially. The Green Lantern movie in 2011 with Ryan Reynolds, that was supposed to be the launch of the DC universe. I maintain that if they had just gone on and made Wonder Woman and The Flash and just kept going with different projects, people would have forgotten how much they disliked that Green Lantern movie, and you could have reintroduced Green Lantern later down the line. But same thing happened because no one went to see the initial movie. So you cannot then go back to investors and go, well, trust us, the next one will hit. With Marvel, it was the other way around. Iron Man hit big, so okay, you can make a sequel to Iron Man. But the next movie that came out was Incredible Hulk, and that did not do that well. People did not like that movie that much. Not as much as Iron Man, but I'm sure Kevin Feige said, okay, but don't worry, we have Thor coming out too. And we have Captain America planned as well. And then we're going to do the Avengers team-up movie. Trust me, guys, it'll work. Just get Iron Man 2 out there and get the plan in front of people. Literally have a scene where Nick Fury lays out what they're going to do. We're going to have the Avengers, folks. We're going to do this so that people stay hyped and the excitement builds. And then there's the big release of the Avengers. And then what happened after the Avengers? It faltered. The MCU faltered. We don't know what we're doing with Thor, The Dark World, and Avengers Age of Ultron and stuff. They had to get their feet under them again. And they did eventually with Ant-Man and the Guardians of the Galaxy, and going away from those core characters and giving people a break. There's no more breaks. The Boys is an example of it. Harry Potter, the trailer I just made a reaction to, is an example of it. They're just going and just saying, we're going to make this many seasons out the gate. And if it doesn't work after season 1 or 2, then we'll call it quits. But The Boys is suffering from that as well. They have the Gen V spinoff, which is cool. I like that. I watched it. They have the cartoon series that I don't know how many seasons of that there is. I haven't watched that. This season, I feel like they're really trying to like nail it. We even have a character in the first episode called the Worm, who's a screenwriter, who's like, finales are hard, and you try to make everybody happy, and that's an impossible task. So we already have a self-referential, like, lampshade character saying how hard it is to make a finale. And that's never really boded well in the history. I'm watching Game of Thrones again. We all remember how that turned out.
You fucking...
It's hard to really nail a finale, but I think they're going for it here. And we got the setup, right? So they got the virus. The Butcher's plan is to release it, kill all the Supes on Earth, because he's already dying and he doesn't care. We open with him killing his father. His mother died, so he's like, you know what? She was the only reason I didn't kill you in the first place, so now I'm here to kill you. Even though you're already dying of cancer, I don't care. I'm Butcher. I'm a bad guy. We're really solidifying that this is not the like lovable Es Diabolico Butcher from the beginning of the show. He's full villain. Starlighter has an interesting story here. I had my heart skipped a beat because I thought in episode 1 that we were going to set up another Huey and Starlighter are in conflict for storyline for the season. I'm like, we've done that every season. But they didn't. Thankfully, they didn't. Huey, Mother's Milk, and Frenchie are in an internment camp because this is the most... I think season 4 really did it. Where the writers clearly saw Twitter and saw just the right-wing reaction to Homelander and not getting that this whole show is making fun of right-wing people. So they went even harder, and I think the story suffered. I think also just feeling the need to do a lot of table setting, retreading of old stories. Frenchie's feeling guilty. Kamiko's feeling guilty. Are they going to get together? Who knows? They get together in this. Yay, finally. But it feels a little too too late. I wanted like a season and a half too late. It should have been the end of season 3. They got together because that's when the Russian lady came in and Frenchie's past really caught up to him. And we cleared all that out. And we cleared all Kamiko stuff out in season 2 with her brother and Stormfront and whatnot. So season 3 could have been like, they're together. It's solidified. Season 4 was like a waste, dude. Frenchie turning himself in and all this stuff. But they're together. It's cool. Yay. Kamiko talks now because I'm sure this actress is like, I want to have some lines before this show is over. So she learned how to speak off screen from TikTok. Hilarious. Again, I'm getting the sense from this show that this is the way that Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg want to express themselves about the culture. So you got The Deep doing manosphere podcasts, sunning his balls like Tucker Carlson, and just, doing all the weirdo right-wing influencer kind of stuff. You got the TikTok influencers sponsored by this and sponsored by that. And we have commentary on how it's ridiculous to get $50,000 as a sponsor. I, too, Seth Rogen, am from your generation, maybe a little younger, but I am an analog man. I remember what it's like, that it is a weird phenomenon that we live in this society where people get paid to post something. Sure, but that is the society we live in. Hopefully one day I can move on from this, right? I can start getting paid on YouTube. I can start getting paid on Twitch. I can build a following and build my money up so then I can fucking put it into making a movie or making a show or making a comic book or something that I've been wanting to make my entire life. But there's no avenue for me to do it now unless I do this YouTube thing. So here I am. it just feels like whatever character stories we had are all wrapped up, really were wrapped up like a season ago, right? In season 3. But drawn out through season 4, solidified, like this is definitely where these characters are. And now it's the end run. It's just like, hey, is Butcher going to release a virus that kills everybody on Earth, every soup on Earth, or are we going to stop him from doing that? Here we tested it on a character called Rock Hard, who's like the Thing, but he comes lava, and so he's like solidified and caked up lava cum into a big rock wall. He's part of Teenage Kicks, which are like the Teen Titans of the boys universe, and they have like I like this, that their house is like a TikTok house, a creator influencer house. You got a character who's similarly to Raven called Countess Crow, who's just controls crows, I guess. But I'm watching Rick and Morty, so like the whole two crows thing, I'm like, oh, I remember that. But we got Mother's Milk letting her go because she's kind of innocent, and like keeping that, like, what are we really doing this for? Are we going to become as bad as Butcher? You know, Starlighter's feeling, like I said, I was worried they were going to do a her and Huey are fighting thing, but they don't, at least so far, and hopefully they don't going forward. But she is feeling guilty that people are being rounded up into concentration camps like they are in real life, right? ICE is doing this. There's a commentary on that, of course, the detention centers and Alligator Alcatraz and whatnot. She's feeling guilty that she kind of started a revolution, and people are suffering for it and getting locked up for it, getting locked up for posting anything critical of Homelander. And Homelander, of course, is Donald Trump. So he just wants to lock up everyone. Now, like, they're already locking up people associated with Starlighters. Now he wants to lock up anyone who's critical of him, period. Who sends out memes, who says anything critical publicly. So, and Sister Sage is trying to manage him. He lets out Soldier Boy to hunt down Butcher. She goes to him and says, did you let him out because it was a tactical move? Because you know they have the virus? Or you just let him out because he's your daddy? And then when he gets infected by the virus, Homelander is shaken up. Of course, she knows he's going to go to pieces. We're trying to find out her angle on this still. You know, Ashley Barrett is here, and she's now the vice president, which is kind of fun. She also has a superpower. She's got a mind-reading tumor that talks to her. That is basically her conscience. And that's kind of interesting too. Like, hey, you used to wear Birkenstocks and wanted to change the world for the better. What are you doing? And she's trying to like convince herself maybe she'll turn, and I think maybe she will. I hope we get some happy endings, man. I don't want it to be Game of Thrones, like everybody dies and everything sucks and blah blah blah, or The Walking Dead. If that's even over, I don't know. I want Kimiko and Frenchie to live happily ever after. I'd like Huey and Starlighter to live happily ever after. Butcher can die, doesn't matter. Homelander needs to die for sure. I want the Deep to die. I want him to get some justice, but I don't think the creators want him to die. I think they like him too much. They like playing with that character too much. Who knows what's going on with Black Noir? I don't even know where Ryan is, like Homelander's son with Butcher's wife. That was, again, the whole like motivation of Butcher comes from Robin, comes from his wife. The whole motivation of Huey comes from, oh no, his girlfriend is Robin. Right. I forget Butcher's wife's name. Becca, that's who it is. It's been so long since that name has been uttered on the show. Which is kind of illustrative of the issue here. Editing Alex here to just point out that we also get the death of A-Train in this first episode, and it's just yet another thing like Kimiko and Frenchie that kind of probably would have hit harder season 4 or season 3 when he actually killed that white supremacist cop and then he gets retaliated against, and like that's his finale, or after saving Mother's Milk. And then he gets to feel like a hero. He gets reconciliation with his family. And then he gets killed. Again, it feels a little bit too little too late. The character motivations seem kind of flimsy at best for why they're even still doing this. So it does feel right that this is the last season. I'm still excited to watch it. I'm making a review here. I might make a review after Invincible's over, maybe, but we'll see. I'll be back for the end of this season of The Boys. These first 2 episodes are fun. They're cool. They bring back the hey, happy adventure of The Boys, but with the bleakness of what's happened, right? Starlight, Annie, is feeling a bit like, I don't care. Like, she's on Bridger's team to be like, I don't care if I die from the virus. Like, I should die because of all the people who have died in my name. And Huey's there to talk her out of it. She's kind of like resorting to trying to have sex. After they break him out, she's trying to have sex with him all the time. And he's like, let's just talk. Like, let's actually talk through your feelings. Don't become Butcher, please. So those are the stakes. Those are the setup for this last season. Again, I might not sound that enthused about it. I am excited to see how it ends. But again, I kind of similarly to Stranger Things, not in terms of quality, because this is definitely still better than Stranger Things. But I do feel like the creators are tired of making this show. The actors are tired of being in this show. They want it to end. They knew it was going to end at season 5. Like, they've had this plan, but I feel like there's been too many years in between seasons, and we get the fatigue. And especially, I get the fatigue of knowing this isn't really the end. It's going to end, but like Stranger Things, it'll end with the promise of spin-offs and cartoons and video games and expanded stories to go on forever and ever and ever. Because now this is Amazon's comic book franchise that they have. You know what I mean? Disney has one. Warner Brothers has one. Now Amazon has their own. They're not going to just give that up. Hell, they have 2. They have this and Invincible. So knowing that it's just going to go on forever kind of takes the air out of this season a little bit. But I'm still having fun with it. I want to know what you think about the season down in the comments below. I'm going to be watching reviews and breakdowns because I need to remind myself what happened in the first 4 seasons and how it all connects. You know, heavy spoilers, it's all connected. I'm having fun with it. I don't mean to sound so dour on it, but it's just, again, just knowing the nature of media and franchises nowadays, it's hard to get excited for the It's hard to get excited for Avengers Endgame, knowing that Spider-Man Homecoming was coming out, or Far From Home was coming out a month later. You know what I mean? Like, how excited can you get for, like, the finale of something that you know isn't the finale? That's the question I pose to you, good folks. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. I've been Alex. I'm the Devil's Advocate. Love y'all. I'll be live tomorrow on Twitch with some Crimson Desert. Take care.